Well, good morning again. This is Dr. Bill Wyatt with the American Orthodontic Society, and I've been a member of that. In fact, I was one of the people when it started. I had been in orthodontics several years before then, and so I've been in the American Orthodontic Society for over 50 years. I've been in it. So I'm promoting that organization. If you want to learn how to do orthodontics and you're a general dentist or pediatric dentist or any kind of dentist, you can come and learn orthodontics in the American Orthodontic Society. It's headquartered in Grapevine, Texas. It's just right off of the main airport to the Dallas-Fort Worth area. And it's right there by it. And the people in the hotels will come pick you up and take you to where we have our lecture area. So I hope people are taking advantage of that. We're trying to make it as convenient as possible for people to work part of the time and then come take orthodontics and make orthodontics a part of dentistry, a part of your practice. And that goes for pediatric dentists. Their organization does not teach them orthodontics, and this is a ridiculous thing. And so I've tried to get them to start teaching students that come that want to be a pediatric dentist, teach them orthodontics. They need to know there's a lot of string of things that they can do while the child is getting older. So anyway, I'll get away from that. That gets me tore up. Now, I want to show you this person that we did this cuspid, shaped them into laterals. There are a lot of people, for some reason or another, are missing their upper laterals, or missing one, and you have to almost take the other one out and move the cuspids up if you can afford to do that. Now, if the case is sunk in, you may have to just save one and put a false one in the other area, which is a lot less, it's not as good as having the cuspids, move them up into the place and shape them up, and I'm going to show you how to shape them today. Now let's get going on this case. And this lady, we did this somewhere around 20 some odd or 30 years ago, and she came back in after this older lady. Now these are not laterals. I mean, that's the central, I'm sorry. This is a lateral, but this is not a lateral. It's a cuspid, and this is the first bicuspid. We made it into a cuspid. You don't have to do anything much to it at all, but on the cuspid, we trim them in 5 different areas, and I'm going to show you how to do that. Now, this lady, and in an area in California, they think this is illegal to do this. It's so stupid. This is one of the best replacements of the lateral you can get. Now, if you're going to have to dish the face in, but a lot of these people, we can do this and we can kind of move the posterior teeth forward so they're not dished in the front. And that's what we did with this lady. And did it some 30 years before she came back in and showed us this, and we took pictures of her. And this was done, I don't know that it was 30 years, it was pretty close to that. Maybe some of these would show us. I had her record still. And she's in a class 1 relation and everything forward. But when you get back here, on many of these cases, we'll come take out a lower bicuspid, the first bicuspid, take it out so they have the same number of teeth in there, and it fits together great. Okay, let's look at now from the side. This has got the 6 keys to occlusion, all this good stuff. The lower molars out in front of the upper molar, and these teeth fit together underneath with a little overjet and overbite. We call this overjet, and this is overbite. And you need to be like that, so when you go to chew or bite with your front teeth, your back teeth don't hit, and your condyle moves out of the socket like this as you go forward, and that lowers this and keeps the condyle from hitting and taking the load in here. And you're going to bite something forward with your teeth. You slide it like that. Your teeth don't touch back here, and that's what you want. You don't want these to touch first, or you're trying to cut something off and it doesn't work very good. Now, when you go from one side to the other, you do like this. You can shift. The condyle moves out of the fossa on one side, and you can chew over on the left side. If I don't chew on the right side, I chew over here, and the left teeth don't touch. And that's the way you need to finish the case. That's the way the human being was made to be able to do that. And that's, people don't think about that, but your teeth are a marvelous thing. In fact, the human body is a marvelous thing. How it is made to do these particular things. And so I don't do, when you put a retainer on, if you have gone to the cause of whatever it is this person has is wrong, and you did away with the cause of it, then you can retain it, and then it'll stay that way for the rest of their life. But you have not gotten to the cause, and that's why I named this straight wise, not straight wire, but straight wise. In other words, you're going to go from what the problem is straight to the cause. Get rid of the cause, and then you can retain it a while, or they could come out over a period of a few years, just sleeping in it or something like that, and it won't go back. But if you haven't gotten to the cause, it will go back some of the way regardless. All right, so I'm going to drop that back again and show how we do the cuspids like this. Now this is going to be all over the world. People can look at it, and so it can actually do this. If somebody's missing their permanent laterals, most of the time you have to take something out on the bottom to make it match up. But on some people that are kind of, they've got a protrusive profile, and this works good. You don't have to take anything up above at all because they're missing the laterals. And then you take something on the bottom, and it keeps the molar relation properly. And this is the bicuspid going down in the groove, bicuspid down in the groove, the lateral down here, and here's the central, and you've got an overjet and overbite that allows you to bite your front teeth together. Okay, I've hammered that down over a period of years. Let's look at the other side, see how it fits together great. And this is the bottom arch now on this particular lady. And this, well, I'll take it back. This is the top arch. This is the top arch. This is a cuspid tooth right there. It's not a lateral. And so we sacrifice something on the bottom. Let's see if we show that later. Okay, on the bottom now we took the first bicuspid, or did we? All right, on the bottom here, the centrals, the laterals, right here, And this looks like a regular cuspid. And then this is the second bicuspid. So the first bicuspids are gone here on the bottom. And then apparently we lost the wisdom teeth, or I don't know, the wisdom tooth. And that's probably the wisdom tooth coming in right there. And we put this retainer in on the bottom, and she carried that for this many years. It stayed there. And the top has stayed in that position. This is the top teeth now, and this is, we stuck a mirror in the mouth so that you could see the back side of these teeth up here. And you see how they meet together? And this is the outer cusp of this is the top teeth now. This is the second bicuspid. This is the first bicuspid, and it's it's doing the job of the cuspid, and this is the cuspid, which is doing the job of the lateral, and this is the centrals. This is the cuspid working as a lateral, and this is the bicuspids coming on back on the other side. Okay, there they are from the back side, looking at the lower teeth. The first bicuspid is missing. And this is the cuspid and everything else like it normally would be, but we took out the first bicuspid to match where you're missing the tooth up above. Now we may show the upper teeth. We put a retainer for it, and this is the cuspid teeth right here, and this is the first bicuspid working as a cuspid above. All right, here is the lady about, I don't know, several years, almost 30 years. She came in, and we did her when she was just a little girl. Now, how did we do that? I'm going to get a white page up here and try to show you what we do to the cuspid. And so I'm going to try to draw a cuspid out here, and I probably won't do it very good, but a cuspid is a hefty looking tooth, something like this, and it has a longer root on it than laterals, a whole lot longer root. So on the crown, you trim a little off the side of the cuspid. You reduce it here on the sides, just a slight amount. Then you take part of it off from the tip of the cuspid. And the cuspid working as a lateral, it has to lap over. Now we're going to draw the back side of that tooth. It comes down like that, and it'll have and then it goes like that, and then the root is going on up in here, way on up. So you have to trim this off here on the cuspid, and that flattens it out, and that makes it, and you can't go over and have your overjet, so you have to take a little bit out back in here so that the lower teeth can fit in this groove right there. Fits in this area, you trim that back. Then you've got to take a little off of the top. The cuspids are bowed out like this. You flatten this out just a little bit, and you take some off of the sides on each side. So you've got 1, 2, 3, 4, and you've got 5 places to do this in here. You have to thin this and take this, and that would be number 5. So it's on 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 would be thin it down from there. And that way you can, if you're skilled at shaping something like that, you can trim those cuspids down. Now they will have a little darker, because they're thicker teeth than laterals. Lateral is a lot thinner teeth. Now if I go back and show that, I'm going to erase that now. I hope you've got it. We have 5 places you trim that cuspid to make it look like a lateral. Now let's go back and look at this lady. Do you see the shade of the teeth are slightly darker than the lateral would be? The centrals are lighter, and then the lateral should be as light as the centrals in there. But if you make both of them the same, I'll guarantee you that dentists all over the world will not realize that at first. They'd have to sit down and kind of look at that hard to tell that this lady does not have upper laterals. But these are the strongest laterals people will get. And then you take out, in other words, you're missing the lateral up above, and you take out the first bicuspid on the bottom to match it up and everything to do it. And it looks like this when you get through with it. When you polish it up and smooth it up and you fix it like that, people just cannot tell they're not laterals. And I've got oodles of cases over the years that I've done like that. And a friend of mine did, somebody that transferred and went to California, and the people out there thought that was the wrong thing to do. That is stupid. Well, there's a lot of things done in California that I don't agree with, but that's just one of them. But they fussed about it. Now, it works great. And so I've done it on many, many people over the years. And you can't hardly tell that it's there if you sit and look at it. Now, her profile is super. See, she had enough fullness till we could sacrifice teeth here in the front, and it didn't dish your face in at all. See, this is about as good as you could get the profile and look like a Caucasian person. Now, if you go to, I've had people from China that had a full face, people from Africans, and some of the places in the world, the teeth are fuller. If they want them full because everybody else in the family is that way, go ahead and make them full. But if they don't want to be that full, they want to look like the Caucasian people here in the United States, then you go ahead and sacrifice the teeth. That's the only way to do it. I let people decide if they want to take them out or not. I've had people come in and said they don't want to take out anything, and I treated them that way, and their children would look bulged out, and I told them they needed to take them out, and so they have to come back, and we take them out and bring the face down to this shape right here, if this is the way you want to look. And you look at these catalogs and everything and see the people they've put out and how they look, and most of these people, they want to look like people here in the United States. And we are as mixed up as any people in the world is. So anyway, this is what you want in there. I'm going to erase that. And you look at that profile. That is ideal. This dimension here is about the same as that, and from there to the top of the head. And you try to get every patient looking like that if that's what they want. But if they're in a family or a group of people that are full face and they want to look that way, go ahead and do it. they'll be happy with it. I had a Chinese lady who was married to an American person. She went back to China and saw her children. And this was the area of China she was in, and her aunts and everything were really full-faced. And she said, I do not want to look like that. And so we took her bicuspids out and we pulled her face back in to similar to this. And that's, so I don't make that decision. I let the people do it. And if it's a child, I let the adults and the child, they decide how they want to look, and then we make them look that way. So we can do that. So this is the laterals, the cuspids made into laterals, and this is about either 20 some odd to 30 years after we did this on her as she was a little girl. All right, here I'm going to show the x-rays coming in. These are centrals, and this lateral should be here, and it's not a lateral. This is the second bi forming up here, the third bi, and this is a cuspid tooth coming in, and this is the permanent cuspid coming down. That's the deciduous tooth, the permanent cuspid in it. So we get this in, and this was in 1981 when we did that. And if that's 81, that's about 19 below 100, and it's 100 and 225 now. So that's 25 years plus 19 onto that. And that's how long it's been since I worked on this young lady. We took these teeth and made them look like laterals. And this is a deciduous tooth, and that's eating that away. Let's see if we go to, I don't think it took very many x-rays, but she has a class 1 relation back in the back, and she's got wisdom teeth, and I'm sure they came in. Let's see. No, apparently didn't have room enough, so she has her wisdom teeth out now. But this is a second molar, first molar, second, first molar, and bicuspids. And here on the bottom, we took out the first bicuspid, and she was missing the laterals. And we shaved those teeth down and did that, and it looks like that. Now this is, to my way of thinking, is the best result you can get and the best way to do it. And I'll stand behind that. And so when we got through with her in 93, this is 10 years or 13 years after it was sitting like that. And then she came in later in that, and it is held up to 93. See, this is the cuspids before we shaped them like laterals. And we did that, and then we took out the first bow on the bottom. And this is the models when she came into us. The bite was closed, so we had to open the bite and everything, corrected all those other problems. And that's the end of this deal. And so wherever this goes, I don't know where this goes, but we send it out, and I just am thankful to God that we have the internet now. I can show people what we've done, and I've been doing orthodontics for over 50 years now. And you can't help but I learned a lot of different ways about doing it. You can straighten your teeth, you can do these things as long as they're living. And all this old mess saying that adults' teeth don't move is a ridiculous thing. And every pediatric dentist ought to know orthodontics, and every dentist ought to know it. And I tried to get the dental school at Baylor, where I went to school, and they told me we're not going to teach people to do orthodontics in the orthodontic department. We'll only take and do orthodontists to do it. And that's not the way it ought to be. Orthodontics and TMJ problems, all of these are part of dentistry. It ought to all be taught to every dentist in the world, if you're a dentist. And if you're a person and you want this done, you could go to somebody and show them these videos. As far as I can tell, everything I try to put out is the best, the correct way to do it. I've figured these things out over 50 some odd years of doing this. So thank you again for watching this, and this is what I would recommend doing if you're missing upper laterals. Now if you've got a caved in face and do this, then we would still do it, but bring your back teeth to the front to fill in the space and save the wisdom teeth if possible. So I'll thank you for looking and being with us, and I'll say goodbye. And you just remember this lady, 30, well, actually now, I'm sure she's still alive. She's still got those teeth. And you can look at it from the front, smile, any way you look at it. That is what I recommend. And I've got many of the cases. I've got a whole bunch I can show you here. So thank you for watching, and this is what I would do if this is what is wrong in here. So I'm going to stop this and hope you look at this, study it, and if you're a dentist, share it with other people wherever you are. Don't keep it under a bushel and not want to let other people know about it. Learn to do it and give this information to everybody you know that's a dentist. And it's the only way I can come back. I went to the orthodontic department and tried to get them to teach dentists, every dentist this, and they said, we're not going to do it. And I said, with God's help, I'm going to do my best. If I can learn it, I'll do it. I'll be 97 years old here in April, and I'm still trying to get this across to the people wherever you are in the world. And so we've got over 6,000 people now that subscribe to this. And if you read this or see this and you're not subscribed to our channel, I have 3 YouTube channels. I'm on Facebook and Instagram and a bunch of things all over. I don't know where they are. Drop us a line, just fill in, and we will try to answer it if possible. Thank you now, and I'm going to hang up.